Well, before I put all of this stuff away, I've amassed a whole bunch of stuff over the last 3.5 months. I've been collecting stuff for this channel, trying to tell the Gateway story. I've got I think pretty much every Gateway ever made, and plus I tried to get a comparison computer for each to kind of give everyone the idea of what was going on when that particular computer was being made. I've had a lot of inspirational stuff happen. I had a long talk with the 8-Bit Guy the other night. He was giving a conference in Portland at the Retro Gaming Expo and had some questions about Gateway 2000. And I was trying to tell the story, and ironically I found that the most important Gateway is destination. I don't have a destination. That's the one thing I don't have. I owned one when they were new, but I don't have one now. It was a fascinating time, and this is kind of the stuff I've amassed. It's a crazy collection that I've amassed over the last 3.5 months. In a semi-obsessive way, I have collected it. So before I start putting it up and storing it, let's go over what I got here. Looking around, you can see I've got containers and containers full of stuff here. There's several CD-ROM drives, several motherboards of varying types. I've got, input devices, power supplies, and then over here, you'll start looking at the various computers I have. Here is the desktops. We'll start out. Here's one from 1998. This particular computer belonged to a computer programmer from Alabama who did Visual FoxPro databases for various state and local agencies in the state of Alabama. This is one of his primary development machines from 1998. This is a Pentium 2 266 Gateway. Very short-lived case design that came out about the same time as Destination, ironically, and I think was supposed to represent kind of a new chapter for Gateway. It was the last Gateway 2000 branded case design. Again, 1998 is when they changed. Here's some kind of computers I picked up with those computers. Looking over here is this is an A-Open kind of generic 48666 PCI computer. I have not yet gotten that one too. I mean, it boots up, but I've not been able to get it to actually work. I think it's got a bad hard drive, but I haven't really given that a whole lot of work either. This is a monitor I got, which is a inexpensive Pionex 17-inch monitor. It's representative of computers that came out around the era of this one at the bottom, which is a interesting machine. It's a Blue Lightning 66 IBM motherboard, which is actually a very integrated motherboard and it had just had EISA. And actually the chip on it is actually a 386 Blue Lightning chip with a math coprocessor, and so they called it a SLC 486. Over here is probably my favorite computer. This is a Compaq Desk Pro EN. It's a really nicely made computer. And I got that for $5 actually on my birthday at a church rummage sale. And it's a really nice computer. I've upgraded it to the maximum. I actually used it for a few weeks as my daily computer. It's amazing how much you can do with it, despite it being so old. I think it's a Pentium 900 or something. Anyway, a Pentium 3900. Over here, you can barely see it, is a kind of a really interesting computer. It's a Packard Bell 125, and that is a 4625 with an integrated VESA local bus motherboard, video controller on the motherboard, no VESA local bus slots, and it can accommodate a wide variety of CPUs, which is why I really have kept it kind of trying to work on it. Unfortunately, I found out that on older motherboards, this is something you guys should probably know about, if you take the battery out, the barrel battery, oftentimes it will revert the BIOS back to a level at which it's unusable. And that was the case with that one. Here's an original Osborne 1. It's got a serial number of around 6,900, so it's a very original one. That's the original case design. That's the Osborne 1 second case design. that first one is very interesting because it's got a fiberglass case. It's kind of similar to the material that they used to make on those picnic tables out of, the tables they'd put in fast food restaurants back in the late 60s. And it's pretty cool. Didn't get it to work, so I actually got this one as a parts computer, and I haven't, had the patience to put them both together. There's a K-Pro 4. Actually, K-Pro 4, I don't know if it would be the original K-Pro. That had some video problems, so I took it to the world's oldest TV repairman to fix the actual video problems, and then I had to buy some memory. The memory is bad, and also I've not put the memory in yet. Again, a lot of kind of botched projects. This is cool. This is a Gateway handbook. Many of you, if you're Gateway fans, will know what that is. And it's original 286 handbook. I want to get a handbook 486, but those are like so expensive. This is a 286 handbook, and I still have the original AA alkaline battery case for it, so you can still use that. It's kind of cool. There's a Gateway Nomad that's also in an OEM carrying case. Gateway Nomad was a short-lived first Gateway laptop, which came out in '93. It was actually made by Texas Instruments. It's just a Texas Instruments 4000 with Gateway badges. That's all. It's really not. There's really nothing unique about it. But I've got one. Here's some more parts over here. Got a whole bunch of keyboards, including an original Keytronics keyboard for the original Gateway from the 286 days. That'll be cool when I get that put back together. I actually have another. It's in pretty bad shape. It's actually about another Keytronics keyboard with a PS2 port. I'm hoping to kind of put them together into one keyboard. Down here is my media. I've got a ton of floppy disks, 3.5 and 5 1/4, double density, high density, and I've also got jazz drives and zip disks and jazz disks. None of them I've been able to really use except the zips because I know nothing about SCSI. I'll be honest with you, so I'm trying to figure out how to do that. That is one of the last real Gateway laptops. That's a Pentium 3 1 gigahertz machine. Really neat little laptop, and we'll see a review of that at some point. Over here is a Windows ME Gateway desktop, and it was one of the last Gateways that were actually Gateway before E-Machines kind of took over the company. A couple of Gateways over here. We have two identical case designs. One's a G6 Pentium 3 400, and then the other one would be a 286 Pentium 2 66. Pentium 2 266, excuse me. In that box, we kind of have my favorite Gateway, which I haven't taken out because I don't want it to taste yellowed. And actually, it was the cleanest computer I've ever seen. It required no restoration whatsoever. It didn't have a scratch on it. And it is a P5 120. Manufactured in late 1995, around the time Windows 95 came out. And it didn't have a hard drive, but I was able to buy a hard drive in Idaho. I plugged it in. It happened to have all the same drivers and everything, so that was really cool. This is kind of a pain in the butt. I had to get a monitor. And I got a 19-inch monitor, which I ended up just throwing away because it was so cumbersome and in such bad shape. But I was able to get one branded Gateway EV700, and I tried to do retro brighting on it. That way because the 8-bit guy. And then I did buy the 8-bit guy's solution, which is that bleach for hair, but it worked. Not great though. As you can see, it kind of yellowed it. But it's interesting if you look at the back of this monitor. That monitor actually was a remanufactured monitor coming from the Gateway Country Store in Kansas City. If you look here, it's got the new Gateway logo on the back and the old Gateway logo on the front. Interesting, huh? Anyway, that's why EV700. So it works well. It's fine. I've got the video camera that we're using right now. I just got this on Friday, so I've kind of been amassing this stuff over a period of time. This is what I bought. It's an AverMedia video capture device. I actually wrote an email to the LGR and asked him what he used. He uses something similar to this, so I bought that. So really I'm ready to start filming, but before I do, I have to start packing all the stuff and putting it away. There's just way too much here. So I'll pack this up, continue the video, and then we'll start doing some reviews pretty soon, but I just want to give you an idea of what we got. Now, in boxes all over the place, upstairs, if you look over here, this is, you can see it's kind of taken over my house. There's some empty cases that I have for the motherboards I got from this guy in Alabama. And I've got a whole bunch of laptops. So I've got, this is the one you can see. I mentioned over here the Nomad and the handbook, and then I've also got a Colorbook 2, a Solo, a Liberty, which is a really rare computer. Don't have an AC adapter for that. And then a newer, I guess a Pentium, I guess it must be a Pentium 4 laptop from after this one, which was after the time that Gateway was actually Gateway. This Gateway was actually purchased from a country store right before they closed in late 2001, and it has all the original sales receipts and everything, and it's actually a really kind of neat, from a historical standpoint, it's a neat computer. You know, the only one of these computers that I actually was able to use comes as a daily driver so far was that Desk Pro EN, which I really liked over there in the corner. But I, you know, again, I've not had a chance to use a lot of these. Spent a whole lot of time on that Packard Bell and that IBM Blue Lightning. But man, that IBM Blue Lightning especially is such an odd configuration that it's really just hard to kind of get everything working together. But I did manage to get it working some, so I'll do a review on that. The Packard Bell, I completely horked the BIOS on, so I'm going to try and see if I can figure out some way to fix it so it'll actually load a hard drive. Even though when I found a hard drive small enough to fit in it, you know, to fit the parameters of the original BIOS for manually putting them in, it still didn't work. So anyway, I have to go SCSI on that. I have the SCSI hardware. I just have to learn how to use it. So a lot to learn, but we're ready to do some videos for you soon. So I've got some painter's tape, a Sharpie. I'm just going to start doing this, labeling everything. So when I started this back in July, I was just using boxes and quickly discovered that that wasn't going to work. So I have been amassing these storage containers. Look at that. That's Holiday. Just kind of marking these. I don't know if I die or something, people will know what's in the containers. I mean, I guess they're containers, but somehow it seems appropriate that I mark them. So that's what I'm doing. School supplies here. So when I first started doing this, I had a girlfriend, Carmen. Carmen is no longer my girlfriend, but I don't, you know, I don't want to say I got like all Richard Dreyfuss with the Potato Mountain, but I mean, I did get a little bit crazy with this stuff. So, you know, anyway, this is a box of vegetables that were things I shared with Carmen. Should probably cover that up. There we go. That's a little hard to see. Of course, I've already recorded it for like 5 minutes. There we go. That's sex, and then right below that we have drugs. Yeah, because that's all of my extra prescriptions, because I am self-employed and on Obamacare, and I have not filed my 2017 taxes yet, and it's October 21st. So as a result of that, I may not be able to qualify for Obamacare next year, which will suck, but I've got plenty of extra drugs here, so maybe I'll be okay. Maybe I won't die. I don't know. If I do die, thank God I labeled these containers. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. Next is, this first big container is all, well, almost all, right? It's got some cell phones and some e-cigarette parts, but it's almost all Raspberry Pi stuff. And I also got into other single board computers like the Upboard, the Latte Panda, the Asus Tinkerboard, and some other ones. Anyway, they're all kind of similar to Raspberry Pi or Raspberry Pi-like. So we're going to call this bin Raspberry Pi. Raspberry Pi. She's my Raspberry Pi. That's right. Slow and sweet like a small single board computer. This is Christmas stuff at the bottom. That's all Christmas. The smaller one has some Halloween in it too. We'll call this Xmas. Alright. Go here. The next thing we're going to do. Stupid to get that because I'm a fat man, so it's hard for me to do shit like this anymore. Let's go over here. Okay. That's funny. I don't think any retro computing collection would be complete without an original Sony Mavica. For some reason, these are just like an essential part of any computing collection. And I really like these. I didn't like them when they came out because they were pretty impractical because they were slow and the technology was bad even then. But now I kind of like them. This is a Mavica FD75. So there you go. It's a little later Mavica. Anyway, not much collectible value, but just it's like a compulsory thing. I think every collector has to have at least one of those. So we're here. We have summer. Well, then we have summer clothes. So this over here, first one has like suntan lotion and aloe vera gel and beach towels and stuff. So we'll call that one summer. And then the one below it's got swimsuits and shorts. So I guess we'll call that one summer clothes. Summer. Summer clothes. I do have a label maker, which probably do a better job than this. But like people, I should probably just use a label maker anyway. My handwriting's wretched, and black on dark blue doesn't exactly show up very well, especially in a dark room. But whatever. All right, so that's that. Let's start in the other room now. See, as we're going through here, I'll show you. This is my setup in my bedroom. My bedroom, you can see Breaking Bad, Jaws, some of the all-time nerd favorites. Of course, we have a compulsory lava lamp on the desk next to my HP ProBook. Love the HP ProBook line. Just got a microphone for it the other day. So up in here, you can see it's a Samson low condenser mic, and then that's my HP all-in-one laser printer. So, continuing on. Okay, so I'm going to do the living room kitchen combination. Now, for the computers, to prevent yellowing case design, I'm going to use this opaque black plastic wrap to wrap around the actual computers. That'll keep the UV rays off of them and keep them from yellowing further. And here's that. See, I mean, it's got, I hope it'll block out UV rays. I mean, it's pretty thin. There's just plastic wrap there. So I'll be wrapping computers and labeling them today, so I can put them in storage. I don't really know how soon I'm going to be using them, so, or what I'm going to do first. This way it's all kind of a crapshoot. So it's time to get these moved into a storage area, however. Let's start with, these are computer parts. We're going to have to label these. What's this for? Well, that is just a couple of mice, and I don't think that one needs a label yet. This is just kind of miscellaneous stuff that I took out of a bag. I got that Windows ME machine, which I believe is a Pentium 3 1000 or 1 gigahertz, from a guy way out in eastern Missouri. I actually tried to drive 3 hours to buy it. And I bought it for $50. We also gave me a bunch of other stuff, like a Via Voice in the box, which is kind of cool. Try that one out. Demo it. He's actually texted me several times, so I apologize for not having posted a video earlier, but it is what it is. Here's my videos will be forthcoming. So, yeah. All right. Okay, so this is CD-ROMs and AC adapters. I'll call that CD-ROM AC adapters. It actually has a lot of stuff in it. This actually has a case of CDs, an old HP CD writer, like a really original one, external, and some other various, some of the cables. Oops. Yeah, it's high quality Dollar Tree tape here. Okay. Adapters. Okay. That was kind of done. I got several different types of cases here for these. This is a heavy one. What's in here? Okay, this is an interesting one. That's one of my favorite things in it. This here is called a house deck. Let's see, I can't show it to you because I have to take it apart. But anyway, this is an actual tape deck. It's like a car cassette deck. And it's pretty cool. It doesn't have. It has this connector card for the back of a computer, but it doesn't actually have a controller card. So I think it's just used to play cassettes through. I don't know. I often do with the LGR. He said he already had some, so which surprised me because I'd never seen one before. But anyway, here's some stuff I got. Like this is, for example, I got this new in a box. It's a DVD drive. I threw the box away because, too many boxes. It's going in a computer anyway. But this is a brand new, never used high-val DVD drive. I got lots of other CD drives in here, and a few hard drives in here. Yeah, this would be CD-ROMs and hard drives, we'll call it. And I'll put the +4 also. It's like that's anyway. Anyway, back to Carmen. So, Carmen, my girlfriend, is a lot younger than me, and I love her still to this day, but things were just kind of dicey between us. I don't want to kind of get too personal and give her stuff away. Oh, there's HDD in here too. Yeah, I don't want to violate her anonymity too much or give you her name, but anyway, Carmen and I she was gonna help me do this. She was gonna actually help film, and we broke up shortly after I started amassing this stuff. I think for completely unrelated reasons. Although the mania that I got from collecting this definitely might have contributed to it, because I think I'm pretty manic about collecting this stuff around the time we broke up. Let me over here. Okay, so this is kind of interesting. So this is a just a bunch of cards. No, these are not cards. This is my collection of small Windows CE computers from that era in the early 90s when they were popular. This is an HP Jordana 680. Then I have several of these 620s. And I have a Cassiopeia here, which is the Casio version, complete with a docking solution. So, let's chest of that. Apparently, the guy who sent me the HP Jordana is the same guy who's I got that other computer from that gateway from the Alabama guy. This apparently is working, although I haven't tested it yet, so I'll have to test it and play around with it. HP Jordana looked pretty neat. I'd never seen one before. Apparently they're fairly common, kind of for industrial use and stuff. But anyway, we'll have a video on that eventually. But this is we'll call this HP Jordana because that's the main reason. He sent me a bunch of them because I think he sold the Jordana. He was supposed to send me, so he sent me a whole bunch of extra stuff to make up for that. Good guy. Really appreciated all the stuff he did. Like I say, this is all his dad's stuff, so I'm trying to be respectful of it, and take care of it. He sent me a lot of stuff that I wasn't expecting, like a whole bunch of motherboards, some kind of neat motherboards, and some junk, like some more recent AMD stuff. I'm kind of a Wintel collector, and I don't really do AMD. I know there are a lot of people who like to do AMD or do both, but I'm primarily Wintel, just because I worked for Gateway for so long, and I think we may have done literally, I can remember 5 or 6. We tried to get down to the $500 computer. We really had no choice, but so these are kind of neat. Here's some of my motherboard stuff. Here's a bunch of chips, including this MX686 PR233, which is a socket 7 chip. I'm really looking forward to using eventually. The problem is that it's you have to do a 3 times bus speed at 666, and I get to find a motherboard that has a 3 times bus speed option. This whole thing is computer memory. There's probably 60 chips in here, and a lot of these are 32 megabyte chips, which are pretty rare. I've got a whole bunch of them in here, but anyway, I've got all the memory I'm going to need for everything up to 72-pin DIMMs. Other than that, there's not a whole lot of newer memory in there. So here's some motherboards. This motherboard here is a 486 PCI with a socket 7. It takes both 32-pin and 72-pin memory, and it's got a CR2032 battery. So that is super rare and super cool. So this particular one is going to definitely go into a video. I got to find a case to put it in. I might, after I do a video on that at IBM Blue Lightning, cannibalize that case because it's just such an odd thing. You'll see when I do the video. This is a interesting one, and he did supply me with some Super I/O cards and video cards, both for these. So I've got all that stuff. But I had anyway. All of these had barrel batteries that had exploded and leaked. So I'm not sure how well any of these work. I bought some replacement barrel batteries, so we'll go ahead and install those because I found that sometimes the BIOS has to have a battery in order to function properly. So I'll go ahead and put those in, but without getting in too much, this one's one of the more damaged ones. This is an AMD, a very inexpensive 386. I don't remember the speed, but I think it's a 25, maybe 38625 motherboard, and as you can see, it was designed to be a low-cost kind of an end of that era motherboard to put in computer spec. In fact, you could get a computer for about $1,000. You could get one of these motherboards with it, and the motherboard part represent half the cost though. Moving on. This is one of my last ones here. This is a socket 7 motherboard, and this actually has a it says it's a Pentium motherboard, 166 Pentium through 400 MMX. So it shows you it's an FIC with a VIA chipset. This is a interesting. It's that's a local bus, but it says it goes through 400 MMX. I wasn't aware that. I thought it was PCI by the time MMX came out, but maybe I was wrong. A lot of things I don't know. A lot of things, like honestly, nobody knows about this industry. The story is not just kind of told by people over time. It's not one of those deals people know. Here. Anyway, if it doesn't break anything. That's the motherboards and memory container right there. Right. Moving on. I think I'll mark that actually. Motherboards memory. So, one of the other things I found is that a lot of, the barrel batteries obviously are all leaking, and it just, will destroy your motherboard if you leave it in there. You gotta take it out. But you also have to replace it, something I found out, but with another one, and I bought them from China on eBay for like $1 a piece. They weren't very expensive. So, another thing I found though was that in many cases, the AT power supply would be blown on these, especially if it was a OEM small watt power supply, which is probably honestly too small for the components. Like in that Packard Bell 25, when I got the power supply was bad, so I replaced it with a Gateway Essential 90 watt power supply, and then there's a guy out of the Las Vegas area who sells adapters. You can adapt your AT power supply to ATX, and it's perfect. And I was able to modify the power switch to remount it at the front of the case. It all worked out great, so I'm really hoping that that one works. I really like that one. This is just a huge box of AC adapters and cables. You know, I've got a couple Micro Solutions backpack devices, like all kinds of stuff that takes great power bricks, and SCSI cables and whatnot. They're all here. You know, I was kind of two minds of that. Should I pack everything together, or should I not? Should I pack it with the device? And I packed them separately. And what's strange about that is when you go to like a thrift store, or like we got the reason why they never have cables, people do exactly what I'm doing here, which is they separate all of the power and controller cables into one box and the actual devices in the other. And I could see when I was trying to kind of put everything together why I did that. I mean, it's hard to fit them together, and you know, those bricks are big and they're not, you know, not very yielding in terms of the plastic. So they either plastic breaks on the outside of the brick, or it breaks whatever device is connecting to. So I can see why people did that, but I'm kind of critical of that before. I'm going to lose battery pretty soon, so we'll call this one AC adapter connector cable. All right. The rest of these are going to be in here. These are just some power supplies, and I believe these are all AT. Nope, there's ATX. So I got 2 ATX and 1 AT power supplies. I have some big ones upstairs. These are just standard 145 to 200 watt switching power supplies. Not nothing big, but again, you know, you're trying to make things as close to original as you can. And I know on all the gateways, up until the Pentium 2s, they would use 145s and they use 200s to Pentiums. The reason for that, Rob Chang once told me, he was like the chief engineer, told me that the reason they do is those 145 watt power supplies is because it made them quieter, which, you know, when I worked for Gateway, I never really understood that, but now that I'm testing competitive machines, I can tell you that, yeah, some of those machines are ridiculously loud. You know, 145 watt power supply, which eliminated the need for a fan on the CPU, was really nice. Made the much nicer computing experience, made the room much quieter. So these are power supplies. Okay. Alright, well, I got to charge my battery, so that's all it is for this one. And I'll probably wrap most of the CPUs while we're offline. So, okay, well, as you can see, these are all packed away now, nicely wrapped in this black plastic wrap. So, safe from UV rays, hopefully. And I have all of these, you can see it's a ton of them too, right? All of these desktops wrapped, along with a couple of the Gateway laptops, but these are all the desktops. They're all labeled. Maybe hard to see on the camera, but they're all there. So my entire collection has now been wrapped, archived, and is ready to go into storage. Okay, so before we witness the restoring of the stuff I packed up today, I kind of wanted to really quickly go through some of the software I had, not just for your edification, but for my own, so I kind of know what I have before I actually store it. So I took a little break and watched a couple LGR videos. Let's see, I watched the 5151 demonstration. I also watched a couple game reviews, The Price is Right, and then some Golden Oldies DOS game review, which was pretty crappy games, and I think he actually said it in the review, so that wasn't that interesting, but it wasn't his fault. The games kind of suck. So, let's see what we have here. These are, this is a disc case I got with the Osborne one that I got from an old guy in Lawrence, Kansas, and it was serial number under 7,000. It's one of the really old ones. So, these games came with, or this, all this stuff came with that. Actually, I don't think this one did. This is MS-DOS. This actually came with my IBM Blue Lightning. This is a single-sided double density. So that is probably, yep, that's going to be that. I can't really, it says double density CPM. Oh, there we go. So that would be for the Osborne or for the K-Pro, one of the two. Communication. Ah, this is cool. This is a original version of Mail Merge for WordStar, and C Basic, M Basic for the Osborne. And this is the CPM utility SuperCalc. Okay, so you might notice these all say double density, which means that the original Osborne shipped with single density drives, and a lot of those didn't work very well, or didn't work at all, and I think a lot of people upgraded either at a charge or for free to double density. So as you can see, these are all double density discs. So that would have been not the original set, because the original drives were single density. Here's a bunch of blanks. And in here is another set of Osborne discs. These might be the single density ones. Let's see here. SuperCalc 1981, and that SuperCalc is 1982. So yeah, this would be the single density versions. This is for an Osborne that I do have a double density Osborne, but it's a parts machine. When I bought this Osborne, it came with two complete different sets of software and manuals. So that would be for the second revision. This would be for the first, which I have both of them, but the one I really want to work on is that first one with the low serial number. So it's the SuperCalc, the CPM system. This is cool. These are all the original discs, and they're in their Osborne little sleeves. So that's kind of cool. WordStar with Mail Merge, and they're all serialized. I think it's important to know. I mean, almost everybody knows this, but these are very expensive programs. I think WordStar by itself was $300 in 1981, and I don't know what that would be in today's dollars, but it would be like 3 times that probably. There's your CPM utility disc and your C Basic, M Basic. I want to damage these, but I'm going to take them out so I can show you. These discs are actually a lot heavier than the double density discs, and they appear to be a lot thicker. Let's take a look at one. I'm actually looking at one here. I can't really see a whole lot of difference. This is much more kind of a, yeah, these actually look like they were kind of hand produced. And they probably were actually produced, not in kind of a, well, they probably had somebody in a little room somewhere with a computer manually copying these discs. This one here has, I think it says Micro Pro on it. So this actually, I think he may have, yeah, this person actually utilized the fact you could write on both sides of these. I think that person did that. Micro Pro International. I don't know who that is. I think it's maybe it's a company that sold in the computer. I don't know. But anyway, that's copied on both sides. Those discs were pretty expensive. I remember them being like, a pack of 10 was like $30, and that was 1981. So again, that would have been like $100 for a pack of 10 discs, or $10 a disc. Not cheap at all. That was real cool. All right, so continuing to look into here, and if you're bored, you know, so the option of turning off this video, because don't complain to me. I am learning as I go here, so forgive me if this is a little boring. All right, there's a WordStar spell checker, which was not SpellStar, which was not a standard version. And there's a single-sided double density, another single-sided double density. Utilities, don't know what that is. GW Basic. These are, looks like they're just copies of the originals in case they go bad. Here are some K-Pro system discs I bought from a guy online from Pennsylvania who just makes discs for old computers. I guess it's like his whole job, and he'll send you a set of discs for a price, not a whole lot. I think I heard a Retro Systems Rescue. I think he paid me. I think I paid him like $15 or something. Wasn't a lot. PTI Main System Master. Don't know what that is. Another basic. BDSQ, and then a CP Debugger for BDSC. So that's like for is that C programming language? Let's get this. It's a debugger for a C programming language from like the early 80s. That's really cool. There we go. This is a backup of something called Manible. I don't know what that is. DBase 2 version 2.4. Now, as I recall, that they originally offered up for people who would buy the original Osborne case, they were given a free copy. Organizing here, they were given a free copy of DBase as part of what they would, for not waiting for the new case. They get the old case, which you get some free software with no hours to get. And I read the Osborne's biography, co-written by John Dvorak, about that. Okay, here we go. Here we go. SoCrim SuperCalc 2. Look at that. Isn't that neat? Superware by SoCrim. And again, that's an Osborne version, 1983. So it looks like they went back and got that. Okay. Here is Valor. Data disk only, no system tracks. I don't know what that means. I guess it means just it's not bootable. That's what it means. That's interesting. So kind of cool about that. Valor, I don't know what that is. Valor could be a game. And then here we go. Demo Disc A and Demo Disc B, 1982 from Eric S. Ruff. Ruff Software in Plant City, Florida. Demo Disc for MBasic. Wow. That's interesting. Super Graphics. That's probably just a guy in his, a small office, certainly. I've got 2 different phone numbers, so I don't know what that means, but anyway. All right, so those are my old 5 1/4, which, cool stuff there. We'll be sure to get into that. All right, now let's get the original set. This is the original set of discs I bought for when I first started collecting. Here is MS-DOS 6 Upgrade. So I never use that. This was to use Test Bench. It's a real cool program if you want to do some testing on your old computers. Test Bench is awesome for that. Forward here, CD God. This is a cool program. If you can't figure out what driver to use for your CD-ROM drive, this will figure it out for you. It's got like 75 on there, and it's for if you can't use the MSC DEX, this is for program, CD drives that can't use that. So that's cool. Startup disk for the Gateway 2000 Colorbook 2. This is the Gateway 2000 Colorbook 2 wasn't supposed to have Windows 95 on it. So it was made in 1993, I think, or maybe early 94. But in any event, I changed that back out to 3.1 because it wasn't going to work very well. This is a Panasonic PCMCIA CD driver, and that is for a SCSI card, kind of a cool little drive, which I bought. Works with almost any computer. Well, actually, that's not true. There's a few it doesn't work with, because you need what are called, you need some sort of special PCMCIA drivers. This Gateway Solo is one of those megahertz PCMCIA network card. I bought that. Here's DOS 622, and the person I bought this from said it was, in fact, a licensed copy. Well, I don't know. I mean, it looks like maybe they reused this disc. What do you think? Is it possible? Yeah, probably Microsoft. Probably weren't lying. That's probably Microsoft. Probably just ran out of discs and decided they were going to reuse some. That's probably what Microsoft did. I imagine they were very thrifty, so wouldn't surprise me at all. Windows 98 startup disk. That's Windows 98 startup disk. There you go. Something else to say there. Media Magic. This is a very interesting card. I got what's called a Media Magic ISA sound card, which came with that Blue Lightning machine, and I have never been able to get it to work. So I don't know if I'm going to try. I'm kind of pretty frustrated. 5450 Cirrus Logic driver is really common to see here at Cirrus Logic VGA card. Here's an interesting thing. Here's a set of Windows 3.1 discs that were an OEM copy for IBM. And when you install them, they have an IBM splash screen. So these look like they're probably legitimate discs. I bought them that way. They looked like they were hermetically sealed in some sort of plastic. So either the guy I got these got them, illegally copied them, or they're legitimate. But again, it's kind of weird that Microsoft would just have a typewritten label, of course, for IBM. Maybe there's an ironic thing there, IBM typewriters, it's IBM type label, or whatever the case may be. Windows 3.1 was pretty late to not have any graphics in the label. You thought by, 92, 93 they'd have figured that out. So let's go on to my CD collection. Put these down real quick while I open the box. This is a click case. Can you see that? That must have been before clickbait. It kind of sounds like clickbait, but it's click case. Got that at a thrift store. Paid quite a bit for it. They're like $5. These are actually cost a lot now because they're expensive. So, okay. Yes. Okay. Power DVD utilities. This actually came with a DVD drive. Interestingly enough, my first computer is a Pentium 2 366. I had to buy what was called a Hollywood card to play DVDs in it. Hollywood card. It was expensive too. It was like over $100 just for an add-in card so I could play, which had a hardware decoder for MPEG. Cellular CD. This is a cool casino pack. I got it at Micro Center for $5 a while ago, but I love it. It's got some really cool slot machines and whatnot. We have a regular cadre of stuff. Windows XP disk. That's Windows XP disk. Going like that is Windows 98 disk. It's a Windows 98 disk. Yeah. So anything in here looking at. There's a system disk for a gateway computer, which is important because, as you know, this is GW2K forever. Again, let's see. Office. Now, I don't know, there are sites that let you download these. I guess these are no longer controlled by Microsoft. Office 2000. And Office 2003, you can't download that. After Dark 4.0, which, it's, conceptual. It was a big deal. After Dark was a huge deal then. I had a Mac SE30 that had After Dark, and that was huge. MS Bob. LGR did a review of that, and that was kind of interesting, so I copied it and played with it, and it was pretty frustrating, and once through was enough for MS Bob for me. MS Office 4.3 Professional, which is my favorite version of MS Office, by the way, ever. Just like it better. It just seems to run smoother and not crash a lot, and no clippy, so I like that. ESS sound drivers for a sound card that I bought. PC Bench Sound Blaster 16 again. I don't know what's in it. Oh, this is cool. All right, so here's WordStar 2000. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but the original maker of WordStar wrote it in assembler language, and he's genius. I can't remember his name right now. But anyway, the guy who originally wrote that. It's pretty amazing. This is a WordStar 2000, though, was not made by that guy. That guy actually had a heart attack, and while he was in his deathbed, or so I guess he didn't die, but while he was thinking he was on his deathbed, he signed over the rights to the company, and they stole it from him, basically. And then they went on to make this WordStar 2000 so that they wouldn't lose out to WordPerfect entirely, but they did, because this sucks, and I've never played it, but I hear it's terrible. Pinball 2, let's see, and whatever this is. What the heck is this? I do not know. I have no idea what that is. I guess we'll find it out later. That's interesting. An unlabeled disk. Here's some, a Belkin Wi-Fi card driver. Windows 98B, and then there is this is the ESS 1868, is that right? Yes. Which I bought for a prior to Windows 95 machine, and it only works with Windows 95 or later, so that is that stuff. So now we're going to go to the very interesting stuff here that I have not really used at all yet. This is part of a collection I bought. I paid $700 to a guy to a nice fellow there in Alabama. His father had passed away, and he was kind of selling his estate, and the guy collected a lot of stuff. I wish I could have gotten all his books. I have a picture of those books, but couldn't afford the shipping. Shipping is so expensive if you're just doing kind of a one-off like this. And Microsoft WorkSuite 99. Not really very interesting. Microsoft Virtual Machine. That's kind of interesting. Some print shop with ClickArt. It came with a computer. There's something behind it, but if it's no more interesting than a print shop, then actually it might be. I don't know how to mess with that stuff. There's a system restoration CD from a Windows 95. So that actually is like a P5 120, 133, that kind of era, maybe 100. This is Photo Deluxe and Page Mill. So this is the poor man's version of Adobe software. And then we have, what the hell is this? Internal Blue Center. Oh, I had to replace my Essentials motherboard with what's called a Santorini motherboard because it was broken and it didn't quite fit. It fit, but it didn't quite fit perfectly. Quick and Basic 99. I'd like to do a review on that sometime. And system backup files for something. Okay. Now, all of these are barn finds. As you can see, this stuff's kind of rough, but let's look at it here. So we have, what is this? Dixie Midwest Crosstalk Plus blanks. All right, well, I guess we know what crosstalk is. If you don't, then you don't know much, because crosstalk is very popular on this day. Here's a sealed Daytimer. With Daytimer were organizers. Again, for you kids didn't use organizers before, there were calendars on computers and little PDAs. Actually, before PDAs, it was like a handwritten PDA. Advising.code doc. Okay, we don't know what that stuff is. Let me see what's in this box of discs here. Let's see, we've got some pretty interesting stuff here. Microsoft Works, old version on disk. Okay, this is blank discs. Those are sealed, and those are Daytimer. I looked at those. Fourth Dimension tutorial for Apple Macintosh. Well, I don't have an Apple Macintosh, so at least not anymore. It's funny, I'm not nearly as talented as the 8-bit guy, and I just don't want to. I want to do either Wintel or Macintosh, and I have had Macintoshes before, and I liked them, especially back in the 386 days. There really wasn't an option. If you want to do anything creative, even desktop publishing, you pretty much had to have a Macintosh. Speaking of which, I think somewhere in here he has a copy of PageMaker for MS-DOS, which I've never seen before, but he has a copy in here. I'll see if I can find it. All right, let's keep looking here. ASP Power Tools. Look at that. Oh, there's more APS Power Tools. Oh, APS is, look, from Kansas City. Huh. Looked it up. That's kind of interesting. I don't know what APS Technology. What APS Technologies? Oh, yeah, they were bought out by that company in Canada that makes Mac peripherals. APS was sold like external SCSI drives and stuff for the Mac, and they were pretty big here until they went out of business. I think about 1996. They got bought out by Mac Alley. I can't remember. The company makes Mac accessories, and they're very well known. They still exist in Canada. Here's something called a hard disk cool kit. To look at that personal edition for Power Macintosh and Macintosh. You're not going to use that. This would be Virtual PC NT40. What if that's for a Macintosh? Windows 9X ME editions. MenuWorks Disk 2, MenuWorks Disk 1. Don't know. Let's see. This is a double-sided, double-density disk. So, in addition to it maybe being a Macintosh disk, it's not high density. Yeah, that's my phone. I'll get back to that guy here in a moment. Let me see if I can. Jesus Christ. So, I guess I'm very popular here. Great. Okay. Moving on. Disk 1 Softkey Database Plus. Don't know what that is. Guess we'll figure out what that is. So, you want me to review of any of these? Put these in the comments, I guess, and I will look at them. This is my kind of the mystery box here that I have found most intriguing. So this is Ventura Publisher by Corel. It's a CD-ROM for another 360 disc. I don't know what that means. The disc 19. Wow. This is back when you could buy like WordPerfect Office and stuff, but it would come in like 20 discs, and this is those 20 discs for that. Looks like, I don't know if it's WordStar. Yeah, this would be WordStar 3.3, and has in 5 discs. Never used that version of WordStar before. I don't know if I've ever used their version of WordStar, to be honest. This is NetWare 3.2. For those of you who don't know what NetWare is, before the Windows operating system, before NT 4.3, basically, I think that was the first one. That was a viable operating system which included networking software that people could actually use. Before that, NetWare was the only vendor, really, of networking software, and you had to buy it. DOS 6.21. It's a CD-ROM DVR. I don't know what that means exactly. Anyway, all right, so DOS 6.21, that's exactly what it says. It's an original copy of DOS 6.22 on disk. Very nice. 6.22 upgrade on disk. What that is. Here's some more software here. Oh, here's that. This one. Let's skip around too much here. Okay, everything. Again, I'm looking at this for myself too. Microsoft Windows for Workgroups Gateway 2000 edition. Wow, nice. I did not know I have this. Now I do. Look at that. And it's a lot of discs in there. 8 discs for that. But that's nice to know I have that. Now I can get one of the... I really, you know, the 2 machines I really want to get are Gateway Destination and then a 486-66V, which those are so popular. Unfortunately, you know, ever since YouTube came out, every collector said, get a Gateway 486-66V. It's not incredibly expensive anytime you can get a hold of one. This is some miscellaneous stuff. This is Drive Image 5.0. That would be like a Ghost, I think a Ghost program. Fixed Disk Organizer. Okay. This is a double density from 1983. Interesting, that's a pretty old one. Electronic Data Interchange. 1992. I have no idea where that is, so I'll have to check that out. That's what I can actually run. It's a high density. Checkout Disk. 1993 from, it's an EDI. From Harbinger EDI Services. So, electronic data interchange. So I guess that's for electronically communicating stuff with other people. DNI Edge demo disk. Another EDI thing? DNS, probably. Probably is the stuff that he had to utilize. Crosstalk program disks. Okay. Big fan of Crosstalk. My dad used Crosstalk a lot. My dad was probably about this guy's age. I never used it though. I would have been Crosstalk was like, you know, 286, early 386 versions before there was BBS's and Windsock. Well, I guess you would use it for a BBS, but I would use a program called Rumba. Okay. This is Windows Runtime Utility Disk for PageMaker 3.0. So there's a PageMaker 3.0 for and this is double density. Damn. It's going to be hard to find a double density floppy. I got to find a double density 3.0 floppy just so I can run that. That's cool. Yes, boys and girls, see, high density floppies are not backward compatible. And there's just a bunch of stuff. Just file disks. BJM. Maybe that's that guy's initials who I got all this stuff from. I'm not sure. Well, that's cool. And I got all these used jazz discs too. I bet they're not completely blank. They might be, but if they're not, that'd be cool. I can see what's on them. All right. Well, guys, that's it for now. I've got a bunch of late 90s, early 2000s CDs. Also, you know, various stuff, but I'm not going to go through that now because it's not very interesting, most of it. Got SimCity 2000 in there. I'll try that. Or SimCity 3000, excuse me. And a couple are kind of conceptual things. And I want to do a program on all of the ISP discs you could buy back in the 90s too. So, man. So I've made some progress. It is friggin' tiring moving all this stuff. So I think its effect on me. See, I don't know if I'm even turning around. That's exhausting, but that's how much I've done. We still have all this to do. All of these. How many are there's some Monday Night Football in the background. The Chiefs are playing the Bengals. Could take that P5-120 I think and wrap it somewhere out of space. Those two. All these bins. That's all supposed to fit in a little space. I don't know what's going to happen, but all those bins, those bins. Those still have 5 desktops, well, 6 desktops left. I don't know. Well, we'll give it a shot, man. I'll keep you apprised. The last video, and the video of getting the stuff put away here, I have managed to fit all of that crap into this little tiny closet area. Fortunately, it's kind of covered up now. Well, you saw some of it yesterday, but you know, I had to put all the stuff that would be in the closet anyway, like packing material, Christmas trees, luggage, plus all that new stuff, plus the empty containers I didn't use. But as you can see, this little space holds a lot of stuff, doesn't it? And it's all there. All the bins, got a couple keyboards up here, but All that stuff is packed up. So the only thing I did not pack up was that P5120, which I'm going to use to make my first video. You know, I was kind of reticent to do that because I didn't want to, you know, make a crappy video on something that's really nice, like that P5120 is beautiful and my favorite desktop. But I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway, just because it's there and I feel like doing it. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll start making some real videos soon.